Hi, everybody. My name is Tiffany Toda, and I am a marriage and family therapist. And today on Sitti Sunday, we are going to talk about New Year, same you. And how are you going to make changes in your life that are going to be meaningful and purposeful for you? Now, I really think it's important to preface by saying, before I even get started, I wanted to say thank you to all of the followers. Hi, Mira. It's good to see you. Welcome. I wanted to thank everybody for your support, your follows, your views. Today, in this new year, we're going to talk about very practical things. Now, for within our cultural context, a lot of times, the things you may see on TikTok and all these therapists talking all these things, they're good. However, within our cultural context, they may not resonate. So I want us to really come together as a community and talk about how can we make changes, meaningful changes within our cultural context. So please participate as much as possible. I love to hear from you. Now let's get started. Anytime we come into the new year, most people have these delusions of grandeur of what they're going to accomplish in the year. I'm here to let you guys know, do not set yourselves up for failure. This is about setting yourself up for success. So how are you going to do that? And it begins with an intention. So for yourself, think about this year, 2025. What word represents what you want to bring into your life? What's your intention for this year? How do you want to move forward in this year and not disappoint yourself? What's the word? What's the intention? Do you want more clarity? Do you want more fun? Do you want more creativity? Maybe you guys can share where you're from and what's your intention for this year. I would love to know where people are from, and let's kind of join in this conversation. Fun and peace. Yes. Peace would be a good one for this year, given last year. What else? Let's think about it. What are some of the intentions for this year? When you start your year off with an intention, it begins with getting your body prepared for what's to come. Now, without an intention, you may find yourself moving from place to place or being confused or not having a path. So starting with an intention is very important. Now, the other thing to think about is what went well last year for you? What went well? Now, I can share for myself. What went well is I started this community. Now, this was something I wanted to do for a decade. And finally, last year, I shouldn't say finally, did you see that? That was a judgment. I started this community and that went really well. And so far, it's going great. Now, what challenges did you face? Many times when we're faced with challenges, think about that. What challenges did you face last year? Now, for me, it was all this technology stuff. I'm over 50. The technology was a huge challenge for me. Doing these lives is a huge challenge for me. And I thought, okay, I overcame those challenges because look, hey, I'm here. The other thing I want you guys to think about is what lessons did you learn? So by having this intention, doing some self-reflection, what went well last year? And how do I want to bring that into this year? What challenges did you face? Now, do you want to continue with the same challenges in 2025? Or do you want to recognize, oh, these were challenges I had last year. How do I make the changes so I don't move into it this year? but it requires slowing down and doing some self-reflection. The other one, what lessons did you learn last year? It's like, I had these challenges. I learned lessons. For me, I learned patience, which, wahda Arabiya, I don't have a lot of patience. I really have to work at that. But this year, because of the challenges that I faced with technology, the lessons I learned and continue to learn is patience. So as you start to think about these things for yourself, what went well last year? What challenges did I face? And what lessons did I learn? This will help prepare you for moving forward in 2025. I cannot emphasize how important that is for you to be able to be self-reflective. Because what happens is why I say new year, new me. Well, guess what? No, it's the same you. And every year it's going to be the same you over and over again because we don't take the time to sit down, reflect on all these things. More things to remember. Because, as a therapist, I can tell you with my clients, when I work with them, I say, we don't do new year, new me. No, we do. It's the same you. And how are we going to change to create the life that you want? And that begins with your physical body. Many times people think, it's mindset first. It's not. It's the opposite. It's about in order to take control of your mind, it's about taking care of your body. Now, whatever that means to you, you think about how you take care of your body, because your body and how you move, whether it's sleep, nutrition, exercise, if these things aren't at their optimum, your body affects your emotions. Okay? So this is something I cannot emphasize enough. Your nervous system, your body is what will move you towards that mindset in where you want to go. Another thing I remind people, without a plan of action, without an intention or some direction, your goals will be very difficult to achieve. Having a plan of action, does that mean mid-year you can't change your plan? But it's giving yourself, again, self-reflection to have this plan of action. Without a plan, you're just going to keep going in circles all the next year. The other thing, especially within our culture, and I'll talk about this a little later, a support system is, so think right now, who are the people in your life that as you're planning your action, as you have your goals, who are the people that are going to uplift you and support you? And it could just be one person. Many times within our culture, in my experience, I can let you guys know when you're making these courageous changes for yourself, you may get so much pushback. Yeah, someone said no one. Dita, I hear you. And it is about, even if it's online, even if it's this community, even if that's the beauty of online, because it's about finding the support systems that you need. And many times within our culture, you are alone. You may get so much pushback from wanting to improve your life or improve your health. I know that sounds really sad. Yes, that mindset, nobody cares. That's not true. Because here I'm letting you know I care. I care. This community cares. You guys are here for a reason because there's this part of you that wants to change. This is part of you that wants to be uplifted and be surrounded by ihna mabad. We can move forward together. So you are not alone. I made sure this community is for anybody who thinks they're alone. You're not alone. I hear you. I hear you on not being able to trust, but can you trust yourself? We're going to talk about mindset a little later, but this is about your social support system is so important. Find that one person. Another thing, as a culture, because we come from this culture that constantly moves the goalpost, you may not be able to recognize your accomplishments. That's why I asked at the beginning of the live, what worked for you? Really honoring your accomplishments, because we typically don't come from a culture that says, oh, good job. No, they say, oh, look what you did wrong. Look what mistake you made. We don't talk about, and many of us don't hear, oh, you did such a great job. How often have any of you heard great job in accomplishing something? More often than not, no. So honor your accomplishments. Another key thing to real change for your life, is do not allow others to take you off your path. And I would encourage you not to share with too many people what you're doing. Because somebody mentioned trust earlier. Well, this is about you trusting yourself and holding what you want, your intention, your goals to yourself for a little while until you can feel confident and grounded in what you're doing. Now, I know sometimes the Arab, we talk about, oh, بحطوا العين عليكي, or whatever the case may be. And I don't believe in that. I believe that if you're not grounded, that's how you get you don't trust yourself around that. So do not allow others to take you off your path. That could be a romantic partner, right? This could be a critical family member. This is what I'm saying. Keep it to yourself. Don't talk to people about your promotion or what you want to accomplish, or even losing weight, or because we come from a culture that it's automatically negative. Even on the live right before here, I was talking to my mother. God bless her, And I was says, Yama, here's what I'm doing. Here's the hick. And she's like, oh, is that what you're doing? Oh, no. And it was completely negative. So, of course, I used my skills and I'm like, okay, Yama, I gotta go. Okay. So do not allow others to take you off your path. And that means keeping things to yourself. Another thing I want you guys to remember, Allah khalikum. Please, you guys, remember, change is very, very slow. But we want everything so fast. This instant gratification, the TikTok, you guys watch a few things on TikTok. Oh, I'm reformed health. No, I'm a therapist. I'm letting you guys know, personally and professionally. I'm letting you know, even with all the skills, all the training, all the support systems, everything that I do, right? It's still difficult to change. So this is where you offer yourself some grace. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. That change is slow. And if you're looking for that instant gratification, you're setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. The other piece is staying in gratitude. So change begins with behavior change. And every time you do something that changes your behavior or shifts your mindset, please offer yourself grace and gratitude. Say, thank you, body, for getting up when you didn't want to get up. Thank you for maybe eating something that was healthier and you made a different choice. Thank you. So be in gratitude for every change, behavior change that you've done, or even mindset change. And then the last piece to this is to remember consistency and commitment. Okay, consistency and commitment. All right, let me see. Let me take a look. Any feedback? Anybody want to share anything? I don't see any comments, so I'm going to keep going. Oh, I think I did see one comment where they say Arab don't believe in mental illness. Well, it doesn't matter what our culture believes about mental health issues. You know what's amazing? I created this content for Middle Eastern mental health. أخذوا كل إشي منا. They take everything from us and we can't even have mental health. I'm letting you know, mental health, and let's move away from these labels. Okay, let's move away from it. We struggle as human beings. Every human being on this planet will have some struggle. And for our culture and with our cultural context, our struggles may be nuanced. And if you're struggling with ADHD, anxiety, depression, eating disorder, whatever it is you're struggling with last year, and you want to shift that into this year, please remember the things that I've mentioned. Be patient, be in gratitude. And let's move away from these labels. This is, what do I need to do to improve my life? What do I need to do for me? Forget about everybody else. We are always so concerned about what other people are saying. We come from a culture, oh, shu haku, shu sawu. Forget all that. Focus on you. If something's not working in your life, that's on you. Expecting other people to change for you, you can forget it. You can forget it. If you're expecting another person to help you to change, you have to take responsibility and accountability for that. And that begins with self-reflection and saying, what do I need to do for me? Yeah, let me see let's see. Yeah, I love that. Stop labeling because the list is too long. Labeling is disabling. That's why it's like I say, Tiffany, I have ADHD. Do you have ADHD? Or are you struggling with these things? And what can we do to help you move through that? Because you are not these labels. You're not. Unless you allow the labels to affect you. And that begins with letting go of what the community is saying, letting go of what your family is saying. Anything that's not affirming you or uplifting you, use it as a filter and just release it. But that takes so much time. And that begins with what I'm about to talk about next. Within our Middle Eastern culture, the default setting is a negative mindset. I cannot tell you in the comments or even out of content creators, the amount of negativity that's associated with our culture is terrible. The default is constantly negative. Everything. What some of them, I can't do this. It's not possible. It's not for us. Mish ilna. What other things have you been told? What family members will remind you daily that nothing will change, nothing gets better? How many times? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, I hear you. The humor is the best, and we can laugh about these things, but how are we really going to have change if we keep laughing things off? Oh, look at hikehna, ha ha ha. And yet there's no real change. And then we're stuck. As a community, I can say we are stuck. And then you wonder why you're stuck. Because surrounding you is all this stuckness and all this negative mindset. Now, I'm not for a positive mindset. Can we at least be neutral? That's right. We don't want change, but that mindset is why I created this community. Who said that? The ways are many. Okay, the ways are many. Yes, there are many ways. I'm going to do a play on your name here. There are many ways for us to change, but we have to be ready for those changes. Yes, Shelby, it's so hard to be happy and joyful because we are constantly bombarded with negativity. So how are you going to, if your body is constantly in a state of negativity, it's going to be very difficult to access that joy. That is why at the beginning of the live, I said it begins with your body. And so asking yourself, what can I do within my control that can make things work? What is within your control? Now, people will say to me, oh, Tiffany, I can't control anything. That is not true. There are many things you can control. Your mindset, getting up every day, reading something, learning something, connecting with people. And that's one of the beauties of the internet, is that you can have this cornucopia of things that you can access. Now, the question we usually ask ourselves, the mindset that comes from our culture typically, is why is this happening to me? Life sucks. What, excuse my language. I don't like using this language في العربي, but it's like, oh, كيف الحياة? Oh, خرا. How many times do I have to see that on the internet? And it really hurts me because I'm like, are you kidding me? How many beautiful things happen in our culture? How many wonderful experiences do we have? And all we have on the internet, life's khara. Really? Yeah, I know. It's annoying. Oh, I love it. Positive comment. Change is inevitable and we can bring opportunities for growth, improvement, innovation. Absolutely. Mr. Awais, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. These are the messages that we need to see more of, right? Okay, so let's keep this going. Our brains are designed to disserve us. Anybody that wants to study neuroscience and you want to study the brain, I remember when I first started studying the brain, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, our brains are totally designed to disserve us. Like our brains actively want us to go down. And I thought, oh, how am I going to help my clients? We have to actively, sometimes daily, for our brains to pull us out of the negative. And that's in a culture that's like, think about it. It's already hard. And then we come from a culture where we're constantly bombarded with negativity when our brains are already designed to default to this negativity. Okay? So what does that mean for you? You have to work extra hard. You have to be surrounded by a community of people to refocus your attention, moving away from the negative and at least moving towards neutral. Neutral. What are neutral messages? Okay, everything is okay. We're going to keep, it's not good or bad. It's where I'm at right now. Doesn't mean, oh, I'm great. You don't have to do that. You're not there yet. But it's about, at least I got up today. Neutral messages are factual things that you're saying, okay, I got up. And I'm not saying this lightly. It may be an exercise that you have to do every minute of every day. That's why change is so hard. Because to really move forward, you need to surround your social media with positivity. You need to have positive messages, healthy messages, loving messages. Your algorithm, right? What are you putting in your news feed on social media is also going to impact Okay? And so this is where I'm going to encourage you guys every minute of every day. Does it get easier? This is what I tell my clients. Okay, you may have to do this every minute of every day to shift your mindset, to get your body right, to get up every day, to do the things you need to do every single, some days you'll want to stay in bed. That's okay. It's how quickly you get up. And so it does get easier. I could tell you there were times in my life early, the mindset, oh my gosh, the things I told myself. You don't need a hamto to tell you you're terrible, because that was already told to you as a little kid. Then you tell yourself as an adult, and somebody telling you, no, inti mniha, oh, you're good. I distrusted that even more. How many of you are, and this goes to my next point. It's hard for us to give ourselves credit. And it takes time, but it does get easier. It does get easier. Because I could tell you now, over 50, and I'm talking 30 years of work in this instant gratification culture, not just Arab, this is just in general our society with the internet. Everybody wants everything so quick. 30 years. 30 years where I can have a conversation in me and not scream my head off. 30 years of working my boy and saying, you know what, Baba? I'm gonna stay present to you and not want to harm myself because of all the negativity that comes, that I could be in space with these people. 30 years of work, constant work. And so you have to say to yourself, okay, if I'm in this for this next year in the long game, what are the things, where have I succeeded? What challenges have I overcome? And my sense is many of you are further along than you give yourself credit for. Think about that. You're further along than you give yourself credit for, because it's hard for us to give ourselves credit. Why? And this is popularly known here in the US, I don't know where else, imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, that feeling of self-doubt, inadequacy, fear of success or failure, sensitivity to small mistakes. Oh my gosh, if we make a mistake, we start to ultam. Why? Because we lack self-confidence, because nobody ever built that in us. You get burnt out because we work so hard. We're working. Oh, please see me, hear me. And we're working, working. And then we completely burn out. And then you wonder why you can't change. You wonder why you can't function. You wonder why that maybe you avoid tasks. Or maybe you're the one that keeps taking on everybody's stuff that you don't give yourself time to do for you. Because we're trained as Arab, we're trained to give everything to everybody else. And then when it comes to you and your goals and what you want for yourself, you have no more energy. There was a time, this is where I told my sister and I are a great support system. I'm so blessed for her, because I say, you know what, Ukhti? I had a conversation with our mom, and I just wanted to lie on the couch for 3 hours. And we say to ourselves, we have to do everything for ourselves first, then we can go have conversations with these people, because they're draining. They're draining. And so if you're constantly giving yourself to your partner who drains you, friends who drain you, you're doing everything for everyone, what do you have left for you? But many of us feel like we don't deserve to create the life that we want because of this imposter syndrome. We're not good enough. And we dismiss positive feedback. So why do we do this? Why? Why do we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves? Because logically, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Doesn't make any sense. Because growing up, let me see if I could say this without getting emotional. Growing up, as children, many of us could not be authentic. We couldn't be real. We couldn't be ourselves. We had to mold ourselves for other people, where the goalpost was constantly being moved. And so many of us pretended. Some of us still pretend. Actually, I told my mom this morning, she goes, yeah, we have our pretend face. I said, you know what, Yama? I don't have pretend face anymore. She goes, yeah, that's right, inti heck. And so most of us, we keep pretending. We put this face. I've got it all together. I look good. I look put together, but we're dying inside. Why? Because we have that emotional suppression and we could not. So we feel like frauds. You feel like a fraud. And this is so hard to move through. And that's why I say, write down the things that you do that's positive. Write down the things that you do. Have gratitude. Be kind to yourself. You're not a fraud. You're not a fraud. The things that you do, you don't have to, maybe we have to put the face to our families because they cannot handle our real authentic self. That's why you find the social support system where you can be you and you don't have to pretend. Because many Arab live inauthentic lives because we cannot support one another. I love that. Hold on. I just saw a comment. Okay, what is the solution? Let me tell you guys something. You know why I'm not moving to solution. We need to go deep within ourselves and sit with the discomfort. If you want to move forward in your life, if you want to get to where you need to go, you got to sit with this discomfort of knowing that this is hard. The solution, I can't tell you what the solution is. I'll give you some tips and tricks a little later, but sit with your own discomfort around the things that I'm telling you. Yeah, it's hard. And I'm not going to move us to solutions when we have so much emotional suppression in our culture. We have so much denial, so much dismissiveness, that this is where at so much turmoil that we're always looking for the solution, but the solution is sitting in the discomfort and asking ourselves, what is it that we need to do within you? All right. Okay. So back on track. New year, same you. How can you take control of your life to move forward? Now, it begins with focusing on your body, which is what I mentioned earlier, and think about the things that bring you joy and bring you peace. What are the things that give you rest? Because your nervous system, an overactivated nervous system, which I've talked in many of my videos, that we are so revved up as a culture. Like, let's say out of 0 to 100, most Arab that I work with and that are within my family and in our community, let's say out of 100, most of them are hovering at like 80 to 90. And I'm being generous. Revved up like this. Or some in such a depressed state, they're almost catatonic, right? And so it begins with you changing what can bring me peace. How can I surround myself when I'm in this environment that's so negative, abusive, judging, right? That's why I tell you guys, as ihna al-Arab, we have to be kind to ourselves. Out of all the cultures that I work with, they say, oh, well, how are Arab different? I say, man, let me tell you, we are different because of all these things we have to cope with. So think about the things that bring you peace and bring you calm. Your emotional state, so if you're revved up, what happens when you're in a frenzy, we start to create stories. And sometimes those stories are not true. Sometimes we're distrustful, but it's because of the story. So figuring out what story am I telling myself around change? What story? I've tried everything. How many times have I heard that? And how many times have I said that? Well, wallahi, I tried everything. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not try everything. That is not true. Because if you did try everything, more often than not, you're going to move forward. So we have to be radically honest with ourselves. And we come from a culture of denial. We're in a lot of denial around our addictions, around our food addictions, our drug, alcohol, what happens in our families, the emotional suppression. If we're radically honest with ourselves, no, you did not do everything. Now, does that mean you judge yourself for that? No, it just means you made a half-ass effort, excuse my language, right? Half effort to real change. So we get the luxury of saying, oh, I tried. No, you didn't try. Enough. So what does that mean? What story are you telling yourself? To say, can I fine tune it? Can I do a little bit more? What story are you telling yourself? And many times the stories we tell ourselves come from that nasty amto when you were a kid, or that amo that body shamed you. You're a little boy or you're a little girl and you're growing into your body and they called you fat. And you create this story. I can't get healthy. I can't lose weight. I can't do these things because that story that was placed in you, and that's not true. That is not true. That's a story. This is about lowering the volume of those stories that were told to you, or that are still being told to you. Too fat, too skinny. I mean, when it comes to the body shaming, our culture is horrible around that. But I digress. So I'm almost to the point where we're going to talk about the changes. But I want us to get a different understanding of, okay, so in Western therapy, and I see this a lot in social media, self-love. Okay, I can't move forward in my life until I love myself. No, forget about that. As a culture, many times, you know what, when I work with Arab, one of the things they tell me is Western therapists would like compliment them, affirm them, tell them how great they are. And that doesn't land well for people within our culture because we become distrustful. Wait, why are they telling me all this stuff? Because you're not used to it. So this idea of self-love, when you have a core belief that I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, our nervous system will get really activated around that. All I'm telling you is you don't have to love yourself first. That's that delusions of grandeur I was talking about at the beginning of the live. It is about not giving up on yourself. Not giving up. Because when and this success, I got to go for this big thing. You can't look at the big thing. You got to keep trying and not give up. And every time you keep trying, every time you don't give up, every time you fall and you get back up again, even within these intense family systems, I'm letting you know it's in that not giving up on yourself every single day, sometimes every single minute of the day. And when you fall or you falter or you stumble and you go, it's okay. What can I learn from that? And you keep moving forward. That is how you build confidence, pride within yourself, and love. Not the other way around. Fimtu? It's not the other way around. It's in the not giving up every single day that you will start to feel confident. You will start to feel good. You will start to feel proud within yourself. And you're going to replace that, all those negative messages that you received as a kid, you're going to replace it with your own truth. You're going to replace it with more kindness and love. Someone wrote, can you give us a sense of success? I don't even go there. Only you can determine what feels successful to you. Because many times we're so focused on the big degree, the big this, the big this, everything is always this huge thing. And you wonder why you feel debilitated. Sometimes success is just getting up in the morning. How about that? Sometimes success is taking a shower. Oh, I know we're very clean people and we like to bathe and stuff. But sometimes when you're so depressed and you can't get up, sometimes success is you just sitting yourself up in bed. So many people struggle with chronic fatigue in our culture and things that are debilitating for obvious reasons. Look at our environments. So success can just be the simple thing, but only you can ask yourself from that. And I say, do not give up on yourself. That's right. It depends on your situation and what you can do. And sometimes it's in the smaller things. Let's move away from these big novelty, I got to make all these huge changes next year. No, it's about simple things that you can do every day.